I recently experienced a total lunar eclipse and I just had to paint it. I chose a square-shaped birchwood panel for this painting, but I wanted the painting to be in a diamond orientation. Something felt more balanced in the composition this way. I also used some regular masking tape to secure it to a panel on my easel. And then I realized that the masking tape was actually the perfect size to trace a circle onto the birch panel. I sketched out the shapes of the moon with a basic graphite pencil, and in order to secure the sketch, I used acrylic matte medium and applied 2 layers of this over the sketch. It dries pretty quickly and also dries transparently. Additionally, it gives the oil paint something to bind to instead of the wood. I did something I don't normally do and used a black acrylic paint to outline the shape of the moon. I needed to be able to see values more accurately, so having that dark background color was super helpful. But I also didn't want to wait for a whole layer of oil paint to dry, so this worked out wonderfully. It dried in minutes, and I could also place my hand down on the panel for stability and not get paint on it. A total lunar eclipse happens when our moon slips into Earth's shadow, and despite the Earth completely blocking the sun, light rays are still able to pass through Earth's atmosphere, casting a warm glow on the moon, causing it to appear red. I think most normal, non-crazy people look at it and probably think, wow, that's really cool, that's beautiful, and they take a picture and probably move on with their lives. I see it and think, yeah, I'm going to paint this immediately, and while I'm painting it, I'm just going to ponder the insignificance of my own existence here on Earth and how I'm just a tiny blip of consciousness that happens to exist between 2 voids and is so fortunate to be able to witness this perfect alignment of 3 celestial bodies, one of which I'm standing on, while we're just hurling through space at unimaginable speeds. I wonder what lunar eclipses look like on other planets. There's got to be some other life force out there. And also, how cool is it that scientists can just use math to figure out when the next eclipse is going to be, and then it happens exactly how and when they said it would? And I'm really way too stupid to be capable of that, so all I can do is squish some pretty colors around and then post it on the internet for some reason. Anyway, so once I completed the first layer of the moon, I went over the background again, this time in oils, and then I left it to dry for about a week before continuing with more detail. I actually took the reference for this painting myself the night of the lunar eclipse. I've become a little obsessed with taking pictures of the moon lately with my brand new lens. It's the Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter lens. I really enjoyed tracking when the moon rises and sets, so I can plan photos and time lapses, and I don't know, it just feels really magical and grounding. So once the first layer of the painting is dry, I sat down for another session to do a lot of glazing and refining details. I also posted some of my recent moon reference photos to my Patreon for free, so you don't have to be a paying subscriber to access, download, and use the images for your art if you'd like. I'm going to leave that link in the description for anyone interested, and for my paying subscribers, I'll have the real-time demonstration of this painting linked in the description as well. If you'd like to paint along with me, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes long. At one point, I flipped this painting over to have a better angle so I can polish up the edges of the circle. I was also debating adding some stars, but I wasn't sure, so I ran a poll on my Instagram. Most people voted for the stars, and I was leaning in that direction too. I just had to make sure they weren't too overpowering and distracting. So that's the finished painting. I'm definitely glad I added stars, and I have a feeling this isn't my last moon painting. Also, kind of on the topic of space, I've been working on this more imaginative seascape of how I picture a beach somewhere off on another planet. So once I finish that painting, I'll definitely post the time lapse for it on here. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this painting time lapse and the little glimpse into my moon obsession. I can't really put into words just how grateful I am to be able to share my art with you, and the fact that anyone is even interested in it is a dream come true. So thank you for that. I'm wishing you a beautiful and inspiring day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.